You see how I did that? You see how I did that? One take. Yeah. Okay. Hello, everybody. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're not new, then welcome back. I love The Fairly Odd Parents. I grew up watching the show when I was younger, and like many others, I watched it begin to decline with the introduction of the live-action movies Sparky the Dog and Chloe Carmichael. I saw one of the earlier episodes of Fairly Odd Parents: A New Wish and thought it was cute, but it wasn't something that was really sparking my interest. That was until I saw the TikTok edits of Poof, aka Perry, now all grown up and a fairy godparent. That sparked my interest in the show again, and I rewatched it, and I was pleasantly surprised, and I think you will be too. The original Fairly Odd Parents show premiered in 2001. It follows the adventures of 10-year-old Timmy Turner, a boy who is granted wishes by his fairy godparents, Cosmo and Wanda. As one of Nickelodeon's longest-running series, second only to SpongeBob SquarePants, it built a dedicated fan base over the years. Its success led to multiple seasons and TV movies. While Timmy, Cosmo, and Wanda became iconic characters, other characters like Vicky Dinkelberg and Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dimmadome and now the founder of Dimmadelphia, also left a long-time impression on fans. The show originally ended in 2006, but made a comeback in 2007 with the introduction of Cosmo and Wanda's son, Poof, in the special episode Fairly Odd Baby. However, the introduction of Sparky the Dog in the 9th season created a turning point in the show. Many fans were unhappy with the direction the show was taking. When Sparky was replaced by Chloe Carmichael in season 10, the series' decline continued, eventually leading to its conclusion in 2017. This excludes the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour crossover episodes between Jimmy Neutron and Fairly Odd Parents. Those were some of the most iconic episodes in the history of the Fairly Odd Parents. The live-action movies of the Fairly Odd Parents starring Drake Bell as Timmy Turner received mixed to negative reviews from fans and critics. The first film, A Fairly Odd Movie Grow Up Timmy Turner, released in 2011, confused fans with its odd premise of a 23-year-old Timmy Turner still in the 5th grade, which is strange because it broke the series' original concept by allowing an adult Timmy Turner to keep his fairy godparents. The sequels, A Fairly Odd Christmas in 2012 and A Fairly Odd Summer in 2014, continued to differ from the original series and left a lot of people disappointed. The Fairly Odd Parents' Fairly Odder was a live-action/animated hybrid series released on March 31st, 2022 on Paramount+. This continued the original animated show with a new focus on Timmy Turner's cousin, Viv Turner, who inherits his fairy godparents. However, the series was met with overwhelmingly negative reviews from longtime fans and new viewers. They said it didn't capture the spirit and humor of the original show. Plus, the awkward blend of live action and animation didn't work with the live action movies and didn't work a decade later. Along with bad writing, unfunny jokes, and poorly developed new characters, it left many fans disappointed, viewing the series as a cheap attempt to modernize the franchise that disrespected the original. Before the release of Fairly Odd Parents: A New Wish, fans were skeptical about the need for another installment, but excitement grew as details of the show emerged. In June 2023, trademark registrations hinted at a new series, and by July, it was confirmed that a new project was underway. Officially announced on February 23, 2024, with 20 episodes ordered for its first season, the show sparked curiosity and excitement among fans. A New Wish follows 10-year-old Hazel Wells, who, after moving to the city of Dimmadelphia, inherits Cosmo and Wanda as her fairy godparents. Departing from the original animation style, the series focuses on CGI while maintaining the charm of the original, as Hazel Wells embarks on magical adventures with her brand new life. The series starts with Hazel Wells in the episode Fly, as she unpacks her room and welcomes her pet rocks into her home. She's sad that her brother isn't with her and wishes to her rock fairy, Rock Tilda, that if she could make one wish, she would wish for her brother to be there. The doorbell rings and Cosmo and Wanda, disguised as humans, greet the Wells family. They use their magic, which Hazel witnesses and tries to tell her parents, but they don't listen. The next day, Hazel starts her first day of school, feeling confident, but Dev Dimmadome instead mocks her and bullies her. When she returns home, she decides that since her brother can't visit them due to a thunderstorm, she will go to him. Cosmo and Wanda try to stop her, and after not being able to get anywhere, she wishes to be able to fly to Antony herself, activating Cosmo and Wanda's magic and turning her into a literal fly. Cosmo and Wanda reveal themselves to be fairy godparents, and while they're distracted, Hazel makes a run for it before getting captured by Cosmo and Wanda. They head to Hazel's apartment, and Wanda distracts her parents as Cosmo tries to change Hazel back, accidentally changing her into different objects along the way. Hazel gets caught in the Venus flytrap, where she meets an aunt named Tony. Their conversation makes Hazel feel a lot better about new changes in her life, and she wishes to return to her human form and says her final goodbyes to Tony, the aunt. Later, Hazel visits Cosmo and Wanda's apartment to apologize. The two of them request to be Hazel's fairy godparents, and she accepts, ending the pilot and starting the first episodes of the series. In the second episode, we as the audience are reintroduced to Jorgen von Strangle, who finds out that Cosmo and Wanda have come out of retirement to be Hazel's fairy godparents. He sends them to the Fairy DMV, the Department of Magical Violations, for wish trials to see if they belong together. If they fail, which you know they don't because there are 18 more episodes after this, Hazel will be reassigned to a god fairy named Cookie. In Teacher's Pal, Hazel wishes that she were friends with her teachers. However, the teachers become immature, and with an important test coming up, Hazel begins to rethink her wish. A Dinosaur in Dimmadelphia was the very first episode I watched of the show before deciding months later to binge the entire thing. Hazel wishes to see a real dinosaur, and Cosmo and Wanda bring their old friend Barry from the Cretaceous period back to the present day. To find Barry's purpose, Hazel wishes he had a job, but he ends up quitting every single one. Me too, Barry. Me too. One of my favorite episodes, Fearless, is when Hazel wishes for her friend Jasmine to be brave so that she can watch a scary movie with her. Instead, it manifests all of Jasmine's greatest fears into real-life creatures, and Jasmine is the only one who can stop them. The visuals in this episode are great, specifically the designs of Jasmine's fears, and I can imagine how scary it would be for a child watching it for the first time. This episode stood out to me not only just for the visual impact, but also for the way it handled Jasmine's character development. In the Wellsington Hotelsington, Hazel invites a popular classmate named Wynn to her and Jasmine's sleepover. To impress him, she wishes that her apartment building was a luxury hotel. However, when the news crew visits, Hazel becomes too busy to hang out with her friends, realizing what's really important when it comes to sleepovers. When Hazel wishes to be famous in 1,500 Minutes of Fame to get voted for a class superlative, Father Time grants her wish, and she soon becomes famous for 1,500 minutes, or 25 hours. However, the principal of their school threatens to transfer Hazel to a school in Hollywood if she doesn't stop hogging her classmates' attention. So she tries to speed up time and end her wish before the principal can go through with the transfer. It's pudding day and 28 puddings later, and Dev has hoarded all the pudding, so Hazel wishes everyone had an unlimited supply of pudding. It turns all the students into zombies, and when she wishes the pudding to go away, the students go on a huge rampage for more. During school spirit week, when her mom isn't around to do her hair, Hazel wishes her hair had spirit, which Cosmo misinterprets as a living spirit and ends up giving her hair a life of its own. Hazel's hair gets angry when she uses hair products on her and leaves her head, so a bald Hazel and her fairies search for her runaway hair in Trial and Error. Cosmo and Wanda alter the laws of science and the universe in Weird Science, when Hazel's science project doesn't work and she wishes that it did. Strange things start happening, and the fairies' wands stop working. So Hazel tries to find a way to save the town in Fairy World, which has lost its magic due to Hazel's wish. When Hazel has to wait another time for her and her father's mystery movie night, she wishes she could solve the mystery of the missing landlady in Mystery She Wished. She later suspects a man who gave the landlady a package and asks him and his family questions about what happened. When Hazel's friends can't go to her book club to read the manga Prime Meridian Love due to the school dance, Hazel wishes to go to the dance with the manga's main character, Kenuith. They start preparing for the dance, but when they arrive, Kenuith mistakes Dev Dimmadome for his rival, Duckworth, who looks just like Darkwing Duck. When she can't wait for Dimmadelphia's Trash Palooza the next day, Hazel sleep wishes for people not to be trash monsters, which Cosmo, in Cosmo fashion, misinterprets as a living trash monster that Hazel names Stanky Danky, and brings him to this event. However, Dev's father, Dale Dimmadome, makes Danky work for him, forcing Hazel to save him. In Pizza Pizza, it's Kindness Day at school, and if everyone in class performs a singular kind act, the students get a pizza party. But Dev refuses to participate. Hazel wishes for someone to convince Dev to be kind, and Cosmo wanted to bring the Piaz, a Peapod intergalactic peace negotiating team, but none of their ideas work. Hazel and Dev are assigned a school project together, forcing each other to get along. They have to do a treasure hunt, and Dev and Hazel have fun, with Hazel discovering a new development to the school bully. Cosmo accidentally reveals that he and Wanda are both fairies, and they both get sent to Cookie's court, with Hazel becoming their lawyer. If Cosmo and Wanda plead guilty, they'll be arrested, and Hazel will be reassigned to Cookie as her fairy godparent. When she realizes that her mother is too busy with her assistant Beatrice, Hazel wishes Beatrice quit and that she was her replacement as an adult. and a puppet version of herself fills in for her at school. However, things go wrong when the puppet starts acting strangely, and Hazel has to fill in for her mother at a meeting, forcing Hazel to work her magic. Lost and Founders Day becomes an important episode in terms of the plot of the first season. Hazel attends the annual Founders Day festival, where she wants to make wishes to help other people at the festival and win a trivia contest for a big fancy golden 10-gallon hat. However, doing so gets her in the crosshairs of Dev's father, Dale Dimmadome, who wants to scan the wish energy of the miserable festival goers and use it for profit, and gets Dev caught in the middle of all of this. Croc to the Future, as the name implies, brings back an old favorite in Denzel Crocker. Hazel's father is excited to go to the 96th annual Parascience pageant at the Galax Institute to win the Persistence in the Face of Doubt award. However, when they arrive, Hazel's handbag, containing Cosmo and Wanda, gets confiscated after magic is detected. Hazel then teams up with Crocker to get back her fairies. Eventually, when Crocker discovers Hazel's fairies, he turns on them and attempts to turn them into fairy dust. This episode also features AJ, who is now a prestigious member of the Galax Institute and an inspiration for Hazel's father, Marcus. And fine, too. He looked good, too. I need him. Jasmine and Wynn prepare for their sleepover at the Dimmadome Museum in Battle of the Dimmadome. But Hazel and her fairies grow suspicious of Dev. During the night, Dev wants to scare his classmates and wishes for a spirit to come back to life. But it turns on him and takes over the bodies of his classmates. Dev and Hazel manage to stop her right after they learn that they each have fairy godparents. And Cosmo and Wanda are reunited with their son Poof, who renamed himself to Perry and was assigned as Dev's fairy godparent at the end of Lost and Founders Day. When Wynn grows sad that Patty's Possum Party playground isn't the same as it used to be, Hazel wishes the animatronic Patty Possum was alive. However, things take a turn for the worse when Patty has attachment issues and refuses to let them leave. Me too, Patty. Me too. In A Date to Remember, it's Angela and Marcus Wells' anniversary of being together, but they don't have any romantic dates planned, so Hazel wishes that they could fall in love all over again. However, as a result, her parents don't remember who she is. Hazel rethinks her wish, but Cosmo and Wanda say that only Cupid can make her parents fall back in love. Cupid challenges Hazel to a matchmaking match to see if Angela falls in love with Marcus or his competition, Brewster, someone that Angela had dated while they were in college. And he's fine, too. Off topic. But he's fine, too. But I like me a man like Marcus. Angela, you a lucky woman. When Dev learns about Fairy World, he wishes he could go there. But Wanda warns him of one specific place he cannot go, and that's the Hocus Pocus. Dev then steals Perry's wand and goes there with Hazel, but they end up getting lost in Fairy World. Meanwhile, Perry argues with Cosmo and Wanda, but when they realize the kids are missing, they use a fairy tracker to find them. After spending the day in each location, Hazel and Dev finally make it to the Hocus Pocus, but they come across the Unwished Dragon, who threatens to eat them. When Hazel learns the trouble with rivals between the school band and orchestra, she wishes she could be skilled at playing all instruments to try out for both, causing Cosmo and Wanda to summon the Music Fairy, who grants her wish. However, her plan doesn't work, and her two friends start arguing with each other, so she wishes the band and orchestra had nothing to argue about. However, this wish erases all music from Earth. She once again summons the Music Fairy, who gives her a golden music note with the power to restore music. During the concert, Hazel manages to get everyone to get along, and the concert is a success. Hazel's parents then surprise her with a visit from her older brother, Anthony. Anthony shows his family a slideshow of everything he did in college, but Hazel wants to play their old favorite board game, Rattleconda Racers. When he says he'll play with her soon, Hazel thinks that he doesn't want to play anymore, and she wishes he was into the game. But Cosmo and Wanda send the two into the game. While in the game, Hazel wants to play by the rules, but Anthony wants to have fun while playing. They must complete a few tasks to win, but a rattlesnake named Rhonda comes in and captures Cosmo and Wanda. Hazel and Anthony set out to save them after they learn more about each other's lives and the new changes that they have both been going through. Hazel's class presents what they want to be when they grow up and dig a little deeper. Hazel wants to be a geologist, but feels she isn't ready to present yet. Hazel wishes to be in a cave and dig up a cool rock to impress her classmates. However, they get trapped, and Cosmo and Wanda's wands get stolen by sentient rock monsters who think Hazel and her fairies are there to capture them. It's Dev's birthday in Operation Birthday Takeback. His father hires a babysitter to look after them. However, that babysitter is none other than Vicky, who treats the children horribly. Meanwhile, Cosmo, Wanda, and Perry discover Dale Dimmadome's secret room and discover that he has been investigating Hazel since Founders Day. Hazel, Dev, Jasmine, and Wynn devise a plan to take Vicky down and save the other kids. After a few attempts, they manage to get her to leave. But when Dev discovers his father has been focusing more on Hazel and her fairies than him, he tells her to leave. During Potazel Batazzle, Hazel only wants to eat french fries, so she wishes she could eat them for every meal. However, the wish soon backfires and causes her to turn into a potato, forcing Cosmo and Wanda to summon Mother Nature to turn her back. Mother Nature then shows Hazel the mother potato, which she eats. Hazel helps Mother Nature grow a new mother potato to make up for what she did. In The Haunting of Wells House, Hazel wishes that she and her father were both on an investigation show called Paranormal Pursuit after a real ghost comes out of the TV when watching a scary movie. Hazel, Cosmo, and Wanda later meet the ghost and learn she is a ghost fairy named Pepperlyn Mon Roosevelt, whose only dream is to become a famous TV star. When Marcus catches Pepperlyn, Cosmo and Wanda tell Jorgen, so that they can all exorcise her. Jorgen, not Jurgen. When the class prepares for the rock, paper, scissors tournament, Dev tries to cheat by wishing, but Perry can't grant any of his wishes, causing them to have a falling out. Dev later meets Irep, who becomes his new anti-fairy godparent. Dev then wishes for Hazel to have bad luck, and she ends up losing the tournament to Dev. When Dev reveals Irep to Hazel and her fairies, Cosmo and Wanda engage in a wand battle with the anti-fairy, and Jorgen shows up and gets rid of Irep. The episode Best of Luck ends with Dev asking his drones to research everything there is to know about anti-fairies. When Dev tells Hazel that a boy named Jenkins has a crush on her, she embarrasses herself in front of him and wishes to have a do-over, making Cosmo and Wanda summon Father Time. Father Time gives Hazel a magical cereal called Time Loops that lets her go back in time a few minutes earlier every time she eats it. However, Hazel keeps embarrassing herself every time, causing Hazel Wells to be in a multiverse of Jenkins. That is until her teacher, Mr. Guzman, tells Hazel that sometimes she needs to feel comfortable with feeling uncomfortable. Hazel then tells Jenkins that she doesn't have a crush on him, confusing him. Dev then reveals that he had lied about everything to mess with Hazel. Hazel has some growing pains when she's excited to watch a new movie, but learns that the movie is rated PG-13, and she'll have to go with her parents. Hazel wishes she was 13 so she could go to the movies by herself. But since Cosmo and Wanda used magic to age her up, she experiences the fairy version of puberty, post-puberty, hitting her all at once. Hazel then experiences mozzarella mood swings and starts rampaging through Dimmadelphia with pesto pits. At home, Hazel's parents tell her that she shouldn't be in a rush to grow up and should enjoy life as she is now. Cosmo and Wanda tell Hazel about FairyCon, and they end up bringing her to the venue in disguise. While at the convention, Hazel signs a certificate to become a fairy for a day, which unfortunately creates her anti-fairy counterpart, Liza, who proceeds to ruin the convention. The three of them defeat Liza and restore the convention. After a failed BFF compatibility quiz, Hazel thinks Wynn and Jasmine don't know enough about her, so she wishes they were all stuck in my head. Things go well until Hazel tries to hide her embarrassing poems and accidentally releases her mind worm, which embodies all of her negative thoughts. She soon remembers wisdom from her mother about staying positive and learning to move on from negative experiences with her friends. After Wynn and Jasmine mention Hazel's gap in Mind the Gap, she wishes her gap was gone. Cosmo and Wanda summon the Tooth Fairy, who fills her gap with a talking tooth named Toothica. However, the tooth's sassy attitude soon gets Hazel into trouble. Hazel eventually gets rid of Toothica when she sets her up to speak against the Tooth Fairy at a large tooth ceremony. In the finale, the Battle of Big Wand, Hazel completes her 1,000,000th wish, earning a rule-free wish. But before she can use it, Irep and Dev take over Fairy World. The fairies lose their magic and are replaced by anti-fairies, including a brief appearance of Anti-Cosmo and Anti-Wanda, who I had a crush on Anti-Cosmo as a kid. Chaos ensues as God Kings make rule-free wishes, causing fairies to suffer from magical buildup. Throughout the episode, Anthony, Jasmine, Wynn, and several other characters from the season band together to fight against the anti-fairies. They ultimately win thanks to Dev freeing Cosmo and Wanda and realizing Perry is the only person who truly cared for him. Dev loses Perry along with his memories of magic. Hazel uses her rule-free wish so that Anthony, Jasmine, and Wynn can know about Fairy World. And that's the end of the first season. Before talking about what I enjoyed about Fairly OddParents and New Wish, I want to mention a few things that didn't really work for me. One of the notable issues with Fairly OddParents and New Wish is that much of the humor relies heavily towards younger children. I understand that it is a children's show, but sometimes the humor feels too simple and sometimes cringy. This is actually mentioned at the end of the finale, where Perry literally mentions that the show ends on a fart joke.
Wait. They're closing this thing out on a fart joke? Oh, They better give us a season 2!
The use of CGI in A New Wish is another area where the show tends to go a little overboard. While CGI is sometimes great for creating magical and whimsical environments, it sometimes leans towards excessive and distracting. The visual effects, instead of enhancing the scenes, sometimes come off as overly exaggerated and remind me a lot of the modern SpongeBob effect. The one episode that this comes to mind is Croc to the Future, in which his response of saying Fairly Odd Parents, like he has done iconically in the previous show, has really over-exaggerated and stretched out. In terms of characters, I feel like the show would have benefited from spending more time on Hazel's friends than on Dev. While Dev is certainly an important character, and I'll touch more on him later, I think that going into a potential second season, the focus should shift more towards Jasmine and Win, especially now that they know the existence of fairy godparents. These characters have a lot of potential for deeper development, and exploring their stories could bring a fresh and engaging dynamic to the series. Toothica, Hazel's hair, and Cookie are portrayed as stereotypical exaggerated, and become tiresome very quickly.
It is I, known all across the land from earlobe to earlobe. The one, the only, Diana the Diva.
Meanwhile, characters like Barry and Stanky Danky are depicted as being completely brainless, offering little to the plot beyond forced comedic relief. The only one-time character that left a positive impression was Tony the Ant, who provided a refreshing, though brief, change from the otherwise predictable lineup. Finally, the series has its share of filler episodes, with Growing Pains being a prime example. These episodes don't add much to the overall plot or character development and often feel like they're just padding the season instead of moving the story forward, which is very unfortunate because with later episodes, as we will discuss, it is shown that they can progress a story and they can show character development very well. This kind of filler content slows down the series' momentum, leaving me disengaged and waiting for the story to get back to something more compelling. And that's really it for the negatives. On the other hand, there's a lot of things to appreciate in this reboot. One of the standout aspects of Fairly Odd Parents: A New Wish is the main character, Hazel Wells. Hazel Wells is not Timmy Turner, and for some fans of the older show, I understand that's frustrating and upsetting. But Hazel Wells will never be Timmy Turner, and that's okay. Timmy Turner was meant to represent every other average child, with parents who don't care about him and an abusive babysitter. Instead, we have Hazel, who's her own person. Hazel Wells is quirky, she's weird, she's awkward, she's an overthinker, and she has many special interests that make her unique. These interests, such as manga, scary movies, rocks, and french fries, add layers to her personality. Episodes like Prime Meridian Love and Dig a Little Deeper do a great job at highlighting these quirks and passions of hers. Both of Hazel's parents are very intelligent and successful in their careers, but even still, Hazel is an overthinker, and her wishes remind us that she's still a 10-year-old kid, which leads to delightful and messy adventures filled with learning and growth for her. Hazel is fair and compassionate, which makes many of her wishes selfless and often for others, as we see in 28 Puddings Later and Piece of Pizza. Trial and Error is another episode that stood out, as it touches on the importance of Hazel's hair and her relationship with it. Throughout the show, we often see Hazel wearing a bonnet, which is a subtle but important detail that adds to the representation of her character. As someone who grew up as a quirky and unconventionally weird black girl, I find it incredibly refreshing to see a lead character like Hazel, who reflects these experiences. In this episode, the significance of her hair and how it forms a part of her identity is explored. It resonates deeply as it mirrors something that every black girl can relate to and reflect on all too well. Hazel's relationship with her brother Anthony is a central emotional driver in the series. His departure from college leaves Hazel missing her best friend, which becomes a significant motivator for her to rely on her fairy godparents. This sense of loss and longing for her brother adds depth to her character and her adventures. When Anthony returns later in the season, especially in that episode, Radiconda Racers, Hazel's reaction is heartwarming at first, but we see her flaws and insecurities in the episode. Through that episode, we can see them communicate as siblings about how difficult it's been for both of them to live new lives. This moment not only highlights the strength of their bond, but also illustrates how crucial Anthony's presence is in Hazel's life, adding a layer of emotional resonance to the show. Similarly, since we do not have Timmy Turner, that means we do not have Timmy Turner's parents. While I do miss the iconic one-sided beef from Timmy Turner's dad and Dinkelberg, Hazel's parents give us a new perspective that adds to Hazel's character. Hazel's father, Marcus, is a scatterbrained but brilliant scholar, professor, and author who studies human history and the paranormal. He fully believes in every kind of magical occurrence, from vampires to witches to werewolves, and will talk to anyone about the scientific explanations of all of them. The Wells family relocates to Dimmadelphia for Marcus's teaching position at the Galax Institute, a small, unaccredited college focused on the pseudosciences, which sets the stage for his academic career that intertwines with the show's fairy-centric world. Marcus has spent his career studying paranormal events throughout history, not realizing that they were fairy-related. His research brings him close to discovering the truth about fairies, adding tension as Hazel must divert his attention away from Cosmo and Wanda. Hazel is often forced to take action to prevent her father from uncovering the truth about fairies, highlighting her protective instincts and the lengths she will go to maintain fairy world's secrecy. Unlike Mr. Crocker from the original series, Marcus isn't driven by selfish motives, but by a genuine love for history and science and a desire to uncover the truth. This creates a more positive yet still challenging dynamic between him and Hazel's fairy world. Marcus holds his daughter in high regard, viewing Hazel as special and important. He envisions a future for her in his field, sharing clippings of paranormal phenomena and doing activities that might unlock any supernatural abilities within her, fostering Hazel's connection to the strange and unusual. Through Marcus's encouragement and belief in Hazel's potential for greatness, Hazel's character is shaped by a father who nurtures her curiosity for the unknown, while unknowingly pushing her into conflicts with fairy world. Marcus's consistent near misses in discovering fairies contribute to comedic and dramatic tension, but differ from other characters by being motivated by selfless pursuit of knowledge, making him a well-meaning and earnest father figure in Hazel's life. On the other hand, Angela Wells is Hazel's mother. She's an intelligent and accomplished therapist with her own private practice and self-help therapy program. She's written many books, and her therapy apps are big hits with celebrities and social media. As someone who studies psychology, it's so important to see this kind of representation, even coming from a children's TV show. Angela's role as a successful therapist and self-help guru introduces new themes to the show, such as mental health, self-care, and the importance of understanding your emotions. These themes, while presented humorously, can subtly educate the young audience on the value of mental well-being, making the show more relevant and contemporary. Angela brings positive representation to the show, especially for Black women in the professional roles. Her character can inspire viewers by showing them that success and intelligence come in many forms, and that it's possible to excel in your career while navigating the challenges of family life. This representation is particularly impactful in a children's show where diverse roles are crucial. Growing up with a mother like Angela, Hazel is naturally influenced by her mother's expertise. This could explain why Hazel is mature for her age in some ways, using therapy language and trying to apply adult concepts to her life. However, this also highlights Hazel's struggle to balance her childlike instincts with the more complex ideas her mother instills in her. This duality makes Hazel a more layered and relatable character. Angela's well-meaning but sometimes misguided attempts to parent Hazel using adult techniques emphasize Hazel's challenges as a child, trying to navigate both magical and real-world problems. This adds to Hazel's character, showing that even with magical help, she still faces issues that require more than just wishing them away. She needs to grow and learn, just like any other kid. As Hazel learns the difference between the advice her mom gives and what actually works for her as a kid, she begins to find her own voice and ways of dealing with problems. This journey of self-discovery makes Hazel's character arc more compelling and relatable, as she learns that while her mom's advice is valuable, she also needs to navigate life in her own way. Angela and Marcus's relationship is one of the highlights of Fairly Odd Parents: A New Wish, offering a refreshing portrayal of healthy, happy Black love. Their dynamic is reminiscent of classic couples like Jessica and Roger Rabbit, particularly in A Date to Remember, where their connection is beautifully showcased. Much like Jessica's iconic response, "He makes me laugh," to "What do you see in that guy?" Angela finds joy and warmth in Marcus, even when their personalities clash. Their relationship mirrors that of Cosmo and Wanda, with Angela and Marcus being madly in love despite their opposite traits. Angela is a minimalist who thrives on structure, while Marcus is more carefree and finds comfort in organized chaos. Their contrasting approaches to life often lead to humorous situations, where their differences become a source of comedy rather than conflict. Yet, through it all, they share a bond rooted in mutual respect, deep affection, and most importantly, laughter. The depiction of Angela and Marcus as a loving, supportive couple is important, especially within the context of a children's show. It offers young viewers a positive example of a strong, healthy relationship, demonstrating that differences can coexist harmoniously when there is love, understanding, and humor. The warmth of their relationship also contributes to the overall family dynamic, making it relatable and heartwarming. Furthermore, seeing such a vibrant portrayal of Black love on screen is crucial. It challenges stereotypes and provides representation that celebrates the beauty and strength of Black relationships. Angela and Marcus's marriage is not only endearing, but also serves as a model of partnership where both individuals are uplifted by their love for each other. Their ability to laugh through their challenges and grow closer as a result underscores the importance of having such positive depictions of love and family in media, particularly for younger audiences. Dev Dimmadome's character growth from school bully to a more sympathetic antagonist is a crucial element of Fairly Odd Parents: A New Wish, adding not only to his own storyline, but also to Hazel's character development and the overall narrative. At the start of the series, Dev is portrayed as arrogant, mean, and entitled, often bullying Hazel due to his wealth and influential Dimmadome family background. His bullying stems from a desire to assert dominance and fit in, which immediately creates conflict with Hazel. As the series progresses, episodes like Stanky Danky reveal that Dev's mean behavior is a reflection of his insecurities and strained relationship with his father, Dale Dimmadome. His father's neglect, prioritizing business over his son, leaves Dev feeling unimportant and lonely, adding layers to his character. This insight helps reframe Dev's actions, making him a more nuanced antagonist, driven by internal struggles rather than pure malice. Dev's relationship with Hazel undergoes significant changes. Initially, they are rivals, with Dev bullying Hazel by mispronouncing her name and mocking her. However, in episodes like Piece of Pizza and A New Development, Dev begins to soften as he connects with Hazel, revealing moments of vulnerability. His insecurities come to light, and their partnership during the treasure hunt shows that they can have fun together, leading to their friendship. This relationship humanizes Dev, allowing him to evolve from a one-dimensional antagonist to someone Hazel can understand and even care about. By showing Dev's strained relationship with his father and his need for approval, the series paints him as a sympathetic antagonist. His constant need to prove himself to his father explains much of his earlier behavior, allowing the audience to empathize with him even as he regresses into antagonistic roles at certain points, like in Operation Birthday Takeback, when he cuts Hazel off and tells Perry to leave him alone. The fluctuating friendship between Dev and Hazel is central to their growth. Despite their rivalry, they find common ground, with Hazel showing compassion when she learns about Dev's lactose intolerance. Over time, their relationship becomes more complex, moving from animosity to mutual respect, only to falter again when Dev mistakenly believes Hazel manipulated their friendship with a wish. This not only adds tension to the story, but also highlights Hazel's resilience in dealing with someone who was once her bully. Dev's relationship with his fairy godparent, Perry, further explores his internal struggles. Initially, Dev acts spoiled and demanding towards Perry, reflecting his desire for control and attention that he doesn't receive from his father. However, Perry's care for Dev slowly breaks through his hardened exterior. In key moments like the Battle of Big Wand, Dev shows emotional growth, choosing to help Perry even though he has previously taken him for granted, symbolizing his capacity for change and personal growth. Dev's character arc adds depth to the overall narrative, transforming him from a typical rich kid bully to a more layered figure who struggles with loneliness, family issues, and the pressures of living up to his family name. His development adds complexity to the show's theme of understanding others' pain, emphasizing that even those who act out can have deep-rooted struggles. Dev's pressure also shapes Hazel's growth. Through her interactions with him, Hazel learns to confront challenges with empathy, standing up to his bullying while also finding common ground. Their evolving relationship highlights her ability to rise above pettiness and demonstrates her compassionate side, even towards someone who once caused her harm. Cosmo and Wanda return as their classic lovable selves, maintaining the core elements that made them fan favorites in the original show. Cosmo, with his goofy and often clueless demeanor, continues to provide much of the comedic relief through his well-meaning but often disastrous attempts to help, while Wanda's more practical and intelligent nature balances him out, offering a mix of humor and wisdom. Their dynamic remains as strong as ever, with Wanda frequently having to rein in Cosmo's antics, but their deep care for their godchild shines through in every episode. This duo's magical mishaps and heartwarming moments keep the spirit of the original series alive, ensuring that older fans can connect with the characters that they once knew and loved. Recurring characters in Fairly Odd Parents: A New Wish bring a mix of nostalgia and fresh energy to the show, appealing to both new and longtime fans. Cosmo and Wanda, the beloved fairy godparents, continue to bring their signature humor and chaos to Hazel's life, maintaining the classic charm that they had with Timmy Turner, while adapting to their new role. Jorgen von Strangle, the tough but lovable fairy commander, keeps Fairy World's rules in check, while characters like Father Time, Mother Nature, and the Tooth Fairy add more layers to this whimsical fairy mythology. Poof, now reimagined as Perry, adds an interesting dynamic as Dev's godparent, further complicating his character arc. Classic villains like Denzel Crocker, Vicky, and Foop, now IREP, return to cause mischief, with Anti-Cosmo and Anti-Wanda balancing out the dark alternate fair universe. Meanwhile, Dale Dimmadome brings in fresh antagonism, complicating Hazel's world with his underhanded schemes. Returning characters like AJ and Cupid maintain the continuity with the original series, giving old fans familiar faces while introducing these beloved figures to new audiences. Together, these characters create a blend of continuity and evolution, keeping the world of Fairly OddParents both familiar and exciting. In conclusion, Fairly OddParents and New Wish may not reach the narrative depth of other modern kids shows like The Owl House, Steven Universe, Amphibia, or Gravity Falls, but it offers a fresh and entertaining take on a beloved classic. Much like Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, this reboot successfully captures the original's charm while introducing new elements that appeal to both longtime fans and newcomers. The show's strengths lie in its well-developed characters, especially Hazel, whose quirky personality and unique interests make her a standout protagonist. The nostalgic callbacks, vibrant visuals, and humorous moments enhance its appeal. While it does have some filler episodes and a few characters that feel stereotypical, these drawbacks are minor compared to the overall strengths that make the show enjoyable and engaging for all audiences. If you want to support the series, there's good news. According to story editor Lindsay Katai, the future of the show, including the possibility of further seasons, will hinge on its performance worldwide on Netflix later in 2024. So if Fairly OddParents and New Wish has captured your heart, be sure to support it and stay tuned. That's all I have for you guys today. If you like this video, please like this video. Let me know if there are any other classic shows or reboots you would like me to watch and discuss in the comments below. And I will see you guys all on the next take. Bye-bye! Oh my god, I'm finally done. She's better than me though. If this shit is not recording, it's gonna be my last straw.